That is PeterManningNYC.com.
Wind due time 11:11. From the Mavis Discount Tire Traffic Center, Bill Powers.
Heading into Queens via the 59th Street Bridge, lower deck. We have an accident. We need to anticipate delays as this report is sponsored by Security Dodge. Elsewhere, what else do you need to know about your bridges and tunnels? Everything seems to be in fairly good shape. GW Bridge, Lincoln Holland tunnels, no delays to report. Although your approach to the lower deck of the GW Bridge, you will find some slowdowns. That is just volume due to construction underneath the apartments. Elsewhere, traveling in the Bronx, the Deegan, northbound side, lots of delays from Yankee Stadium up into the Cross Front, and that is due to road work. Some ongoing delays on the Hyde, southbound side into Westchester Avenue, again due to road work, and we're seeing some delays in the Cross Island northbound side trying to get onto the Throgs Neck Bridge. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3, LIE, Northern Southern State Parkways. Overall, we're okay. An accident popping up on Northern State Parkway. This is going to be just past the Seaford Oyster Bay Expressway, but as far as delays are concerned, it doesn't look like it's causing a big one, at least not at this time. I'm Bill Powers on 1010 Win.
Michelle Felicia here at Security Dodge in Amityville. Go onto our website, pick out your new vehicle, submit your trade information, get pre-approved. We have 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days.
Log on to securitydodge.com for complete program details.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast with meteorologist John Ferrick.
A pretty nice day on tap once again. We'll have a good deal of sunshine for this afternoon, topping out at 78. Partly cloudy tonight, comfortable below 54. And then for tomorrow, much cooler. Some sun to start with clouds to work in. We'll only top out at 66 tomorrow. Then we'll see some showers tomorrow night, and maybe a shower or two on Monday. Mostly cloudy. What may happen with our tropical system developing off to the south north of the Bahamas, but it's going to be a cool day with a chance for rain. The high Tuesday 58, still cool on Wednesday, and again there could be some showers high below 60s. Right now it's up to 68, some sun going up to 78 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather's John Ferrick on New York's weather station, 1010 Wind.
Wind due time 11:13.
At CDW, we get that migrating your business to a hyper-converged infrastructure is challenging.
Like me switching to decaf, that is my problem with the battery.
Slow down trends. CDW's experts can help you simplify the transition from legacy to hyper-converged infrastructure with Dell Technologies solutions that offer speed and agility.
Do it. Have you done it? Is it done yet? Why isn't it done yet?
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/DellTech.
CVS Pharmacy. Two-day delivery for free. Get prescriptions and other everyday essentials like vitamins, allergy relief, snacks, and more from your local CVS. We understand your concern, and this is just one of the ways we can help you to be prepared and stay well. Visit CVS.com or call your local CVS pharmacy to get started. Restrictions apply. Offer valid on orders with a prescription. Wind due time 11:14. More developments of the coronavirus outbreak in a minute.
The sports season may be on hold right now, but team front offices are busy. And Radio.com has the biggest sports stations in the country, covering your favorite teams and sports. Stay up on the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NHL, NBA, and more. All the trades, player and coach interviews, and everything you need to know. Binge your favorite podcast from the top personalities in sports. Stay connected to the teams and sports you love, so you're ready when they come back. Listen on Radio.com or the Radio.com app.
If you had COVID-19 better, you could help others by donating your blood. Mayo Clinic is leading a national emergency access program using donated blood plasma to help patients in the hospital with COVID-19. We ask those who have recovered from COVID-19 to donate plasma in the months following recovery when antibodies are strong to help us help others. Visit uscovidplasma.org and join the fight. Thousands are waiting at uscovidplasma.org.
It is 65 degrees and partly sunny in the city. AccuWeather says we are going up to 78 today in Midtown. Wind due at 11:15 now. All of the major leagues have postponed sports because of the pandemic. However, there's a lot moving out there in the world of sports. First Live Golf comes to TV tomorrow, and that charity event with 4 players, maybe just the beginning of the return.
NASCAR resumes its schedule on Sunday at Darlington.
Tuesday if state and local governments will allow it. Meanwhile, Major League Baseball is trying to hammer out its plan to begin the 2020 season. The NBA still hopeful it can return to play this summer, and the NHL and NHL Players Association, through a return-to-play committee, are meeting on a regular basis to try to resume this paused season. I'm Bill Michaels.
President Trump reportedly close to restoring some U.S. funding to the World Health Organization a month after he stopped it, claiming the group had responded badly to the coronavirus pandemic. Fox News quoting a 5-page draft from the White House that says the U.S. will pay up to for China pays. That's nowhere near the $400 million the U.S. previously sent the World Health Organization. China paid about 10 of that. Administration officials confirmed the president had agreed to the plan in the draft letter, but this morning the president tweeted that that was just one of the options. He defied the lockdown and then got sick himself, but an upstate barber says he didn't infect anybody else with COVID.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo Friday infected, I think, over a dozen people.
Denying that, Joseph Molina, 76, says his lawyer told him he can continue cutting hair because his shop's in his Kingston home. And the governor's order allows New Yorkers to work from home. Molina says DailyMail.com says he spent 5 days in the hospital with COVID-19 fever and cough. The Ulster County Health Commissioner advising anyone who got a haircut in the past few weeks at a barbershop to get tested.
And Chuck Stevenson. So what do we call this virus anyway? No, not all of the entirely appropriate nasty words we can't say on the radio. The French have apparently been dealing with an extra side issue. Is COVID-19 masculine or feminine? As in, when we refer to it, do we say ce or la? You can see how this might be a big deal in French. And indeed, the arbiters of the French language have ruled. The Académie Française says the virus is female, even though a fair number of people have been apparently sloppily referring to it as le COVID-19. So too is the virus. Amy, Wednesday, 7/11/18.
Can the daily recommended servings of fruits and vegetables fit into just 6 capsules? Yes. We start by sourcing organically grown whole fruits and vegetables. We ensure they are picked at peak ripeness. All of our produce is third-party tested for pesticides, heavy metals, bad bacteria, and nutrients. They are then washed, cut, and put through an advanced vacuum-cooled process which removes the water using pressure. This maximizes the nutritional value while preserving the color, smell, and taste of the fruit or vegetable. The freeze-dried food is then ground into a fine powder without adding any additives, fillers, or extracts. These powdered foods are then mixed in our proprietary blends and encapsulated, locking out air and moisture. The capsules are then bottled and shipped directly to our customers. Balance of Nature is now offering 35% off on any third order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code NEWS.
Every Friday, RWJ Farm is held will proudly honor individual professional groups throughout their system who are working courageously on the front lines every day to keep our communities healthy. RWJ, part of its health. Let's be healthy together. Waiting News 7/11/19, latest on the coronavirus outbreak in 1 minute.
Hello, scared. Really scared.
Yvette was a victim of medical malpractice.
I went for a hysterectomy, and the doctor cut my colon by mistake.
The damage was serious.
As far as it was I lost a lot of weight. I was in a lot of pain. I was getting ready to bag. I was put in the back for 6 months. And then I had a second surgery. I was in the back for 3 months. Back inside again.
In need of legal help, she turned to Daniel Buttafuoco and Associates.
He worked with me through everything, especially the
With all of her expenses covered in problem solving, Yvette has advice for any friend who has an issue with malpractice.
I would tell you, discuss your case with him. He's good what he does. He will help you.
For a free evaluation of your case, call 1-800-NOW-HURT. 1-800-NOW-HURT. Rebuild your life. The law firm of Daniel Buttafuoco and Associates. 1-800-NOW-HURT.
Now more than ever, tell your iPhone or home device to play 10 and win, and let's stay connected.
The News Watch never stops. This is 10 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 68 degrees, 11:20. I'm Kathleen Marple-Calv, and here's what's happening. A deadly and bizarre incident in Harlem. A man stabbed to death in a fight expired to let 5 cops hurt. Go to the beach next weekend, but keep your distance. Many beaches outside the city opening under new rules. small business. Officials say owners say federal help isn't enough and the city needs to do more. Not as crazy as it sounds. A new report says there may be something to that urban legend about the CIA and the scorpion's wind of change. Send in with AccuWeather. Sunny, pleasant today, the high 78. Winds news time coming up on 11:21. It started with a stabbing, included a fire and a fight, and ended with one man dead and 5 police officers hurt in Harlem early today.
The homicide and fire were at a building on East 120th Street known as Acacia Gardens. The 911 call was made shortly after 4 o'clock in the morning. There was a fire in apartment 9G. But the NYPD says when officers arrived, they found a man in the hallway of the building who was very combative and allegedly setting fires in the hall. They were able to arrest him, though. The fire department put out the blaze, and inside the apartment, that's where they found a man who had been stabbed to death. Julie was in the concern that all pretty frightening.
It's right here. It's right down the street from where my mother lives, so it's a little concerning that has happened, that someone has lost their lives.
The police are questioning the 31-year-old man who was in the hallway. They're trying to piece together what happened and why. Carol Diori at 1010 Winds in Harlem. It was Memorial Day at the beach after all for a lot of folks, but not the one they were expecting. Wow. New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut have all agreed to, on a statewide level, reopen their beaches. The city has decided that is not the best idea just yet, and Mary Lazier says it's important to wait on that. Now, the city is already working on several measures to increase social distancing at the city parks as the weather gets warmer and folks start coming out. In the Sheep Meadow today, they have a masked officer and a bright red sign marked about 6 feet. In Brooklyn Domino Park, they drew white circles on the earth. The whole breathing on the coronavirus outbreak at 1:30. Hopefully that one begins. We'll also carry Governor Murphy's briefing at 1 p.m. today. A lot of happy dancers, a lot of unhappy neighbors in one Brooklyn neighborhood last night. Residents in Berry Street area of Williamsburg were particularly unhappy to see some unmasked partiers pouring out of a restaurant for an impromptu dance party. They say it apparently started in Cheeseboat on North 9th Street, started playing music outside, folks came out with them dancing on Berry Street, which is just closed for pedestrians only. Neighbors called the cops, but as soon as they left, just before 5 p.m., the crowd was right back at it. Now, this breaking up of a large gathering is exactly what the NYPD is planning to be focusing on in the next few weeks.
After a series of incendiary video incidents, the NYPD will no longer be enforcing mandatory facial coverings. That instead will fall to community groups.
Educating, encouraging, providing free face coverings. That'll be done by civilian agencies, by houses of worship. That'll be done by community groups.
The mayor says police will continue enforcing no gathering rules.
We're not going to have the NYPD focus on 2 people together or 3 people together. We're going to focus on when it starts to be more than a handful of people.
The PBA calls the changes full of exception, just cause more problems for officers. Al Jones, 1010 Winds News.
In New Jersey, while they're making progress, Governor Murphy says they also passed a sad milestone yesterday. 10,000 people.
We have now slipped into sort of a grouping on new cases per 100,000. We continue to lead American states in hospitalizations per 100,000 and sadly in fatalities for every 100,000 persons.
Coronavirus numbers at the moment in New York State, 22,000 deaths. In New Jersey, 10,100. Connecticut, 3,200. Nationwide, more than 88,000 Americans. Of course, stay with 1010 Winds at 1010winds.com for all the information you need to stay connected. Governor Cuomo's briefing coming up at 11:30. Winds News Time 11:25.
At Malatesta Palladino Concrete and Masonry, they would like to thank essential workers and introduce a new cleaning service to help eradicate COVID-19 on all surfaces. Their new, highly effective, non-chemical, non-toxic virus disinfecting service releases an electrostatically charged mist onto surfaces and objects. By using a specialized solution, all surfaces will be disinfected with an EPA-certified and CDC-recommended treatment for COVID-19. Visit MalatestaPalladino.com to schedule your appointment. MalatestaPalladino.com.
In these unprecedented and challenging times, RSM would like to thank the individuals on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis who are working hard to keep us safe. As the leading provider of audit, tax, and consulting services for the middle market, RSM understands we are ready to help. COVID for valuable insights, economic updates, and timely information for your business. We are all in this together.
Wayne Juice at 11:26 now, Bloomberg Money Watch.
Animal Crossing is a mega hit for Nintendo, and not because it was released just as shutdowns kept people at home. The video game caught on first with younger women, and the industry is seeing the value of older women too. Michael Paxer covers the video gaming industry for Wedbush Security. The casino game maker SciPlay reported its average paying user is a woman in her 40s or 50s spending $85 a month.
It averages out to under $3 a day, $1 every 4 or 5 hours. It really isn't that much to spend.
So he says this new demographic will likely stick around. Says gaming is a lot like healthcare. As we age, we consume more healthcare. And
as we age as gamers, we consume more games. That phenomenon really is happening.
Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 past every hour. I'm Renita Young for NBN West.
Wayne Juice at 11:26.
Ever wonder why food tastes so much better in restaurants than when you prepare it at home? It's because it's good. Find out who's open for business. Stay connected. Visit 1010wins.com/open for business. Sponsored by Spectrum Business. Switch to Spectrum Business and get the best internet and phone for business.
I'm Dr. C.D. Sparbo, the city's doctor. You're hearing about COVID-19 every day and why it's important to stay home as much as possible to protect yourself and others from it. To get the care you need. If you have a fever, cough, or sore throat, you may have COVID-19. If your symptoms are not very severe, stay home, take your temperature at least once a day, and watch for signs of getting worse. If you have chest pain or trouble breathing, call 911 or go to an emergency room right away. Please, don't wait. The city provides medical care regardless of immigration status or ability to pay. If you need help finding a doctor, call 311. Stay healthy, NYC.
Wayne Juice on 11:28, and we're just about 2 minutes away from Governor Cuomo's daily briefing. We'll go to that live as soon as it begins.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out. No matter what I did, it went away. So I decided to break it down to my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable. But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms. Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
It is 68 degrees right now, fair in the city. AccuWeather says we're going up to 78 today in Midtown. We got a nice day to look forward to today. We'll get to keep it, though. The full forecast coming up in just Wayne Juice at 11:30.
Good morning, I'm Brian Britton. We are awaiting Governor Cuomo's daily press briefing. He's set to hold that pretty much right now at 11:30. That's when it's set for. As soon as he begins, we'll bring it to you live. Stay with 1010 Wayne. It is no secret small businesses are struggling in the city amid the pandemic. With federal help not enough, our Samantha Liebman spoke with some owners and business leaders who say the city needs to step it up and they need to do it now.
Miriam Millord owns B-Cake Bakery in Brooklyn. Her staff said from 16 to 5, mostly due to the inability to socially distance in the store. So she'll have to pay back the Payroll Protection Program, or PPP money, she got if she can't rehire by June 30th.
Although we're still, trying to figure out how to use it, but many of the small Brooklyn businesses are not able to.
Randy Pierce of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce says the Bring Back Brooklyn Fund is crowdfunding to provide no-interest loans to businesses who can't get that money, and even so, most of it can't be used for Skip May rent. He says the city should be doing more.
The city
should consider moratorium on fines and violations not related to health and safety. I think they should consider a sales tax holiday for a certain period of time between now and the end of the year.
He fears a third of businesses will not come back. Samantha Leitman, 1010 Wins News.
1010 Wins and BNB Bank, the bank for local business, want to give you $10,000 to help you get your small business back on its feet. The deadline to submit tomorrow. You go to 1010wins.com/challenge. Where you get all the details. $10,000 for your small business. 1010wins.com/challenge. Wins News Time 11:31. Traffic and transit as we await Governor Cuomo's press briefing. But right now we'll check in with Bill Powers.
Trying to get across the Hudson River, not too bad right now. GW Bridge inbound, both decks, pretty minor delay. Outbound upper level a little bit slow under the apartment. Lincoln and Holland Tunnel both costing you about 10 minutes. That's going to be in each direction. Crash over on the 59th Street Bridge, Queensbound side. It looks like Looks like we have a crash on the New Jersey Turnpike Eastern Spur. Southbound side, just north of Interchange at 17E. That's going to cause some delays for you. Also, keep in mind, southbound side of the Garden State Parkway, we are dealing with road work. We've got a couple of lanes knocked out as you head in towards 280. As a result, a 3 to 4 mile delay right now, southbound on the Garden State Parkway. Traveling on Long Island, here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3, LIE, Northern Southern State Parkway is looking good through Nassau and Suffolk counties. I'm Bill Powers on 1010 Wins.
Thank you, Bill. Now the official 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Get a live update so you can say good morning to AccuWeather's John Spear.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Pretty nice day out there again today. Mostly sunny. We'll top out at 78. And tonight, a partly cloudy sky, comfortable down to 54.
Alrighty, John, I am going to have to interrupt you here. Sorry about that. We're going to join Governor Cuomo now in his daily press briefing on 1010.
All right, Dr. Malatras, Dr. Zucker, my left, Melissa DeRosa, Secretary Melissa DeRosa, to her left, Budget Director Rob Manica. Today is Saturday. Saturday, because I don't wear a tie on Saturday. That's how I know it's Saturday. A little convoluted reason, but it's not the first time. The total number of hospitalizations are down again. It's interesting to look at the curve, how fast we went up and how relatively slow the decline has been. That shows you the problem of having a spike. Spike happens quickly, but resolves slowly. Net change in hospitalizations is down. Net change in intubations is down. Number of new cases per day is also down, 400, which sounds like a large number, but this is on a statewide population of 1 million, 50,000 hospital beds. The number of lives lost, 157. That number has been stubborn. You can see May 10th it was 161, and these are all basically in the margin of error, if you will. This system is not that precise. I believe when they actually go back weeks from now and calculate the total number of deaths, at-home deaths, etc., you'll see a variation in this number. Again, we're right about where we were when we started. We just don't want to make sure we don't go back to the hell that we've gone through. And when we talk about reopening, that's a discussion. We have half the state now in terms of regions, which is now in the process of reopening. We have a dashboard that tells people where their region is, what's going on, what the hospital rates are doing, what the infection rates are doing, so everyone has information to inform themselves and to have conversations with their local government. We have a smart phased reopening plan that has been reviewed by great experts in the field, and we feel very good about that. We're getting a little more nuanced in our analysis, looking for economic activities that you can start without crowds and without gatherings. Remember, the problem here are crowds and gatherings. So what can you do, or what economic activity is willing to reopen without a crowd, right? They're talking about this in terms of sports, without without a crowd, but it can still be televised. Great. If you can have economic activity without a crowd, that's great. We can do that in this state with horse racing tracks, and we're going to do that. There'll be guidelines for the actual participants, but no crowds, no fans. But for the industry itself, for the televised viewers, that can still work. That is also true with Watkins Glen. That can operate, and there's a big viewership for Watkins Glen. I'm going to take my car to Watkins Glen. I've done it before. I can do it again. Wear a mask in the car. I don't even have to wear a mask in the car. I'll be alone. Update on elective surgeries. We're going to open Westchester for elective surgeries and ambulatory care. We want to make sure people who need medical services are getting medical services. There was a period where hospitals were dealing basically with the COVID patients. We are past that period. If you need medical attention, if you need a medical procedure, you should get it, right? And the hospitals are safe places to go. To the extent people are worried about going to a hospital, there's no reason. And the caveat is always, as we reopen, this is a new phase. This is an unknown phase. Nobody can tell you exactly what happens because nobody has been here before. At stone to stone across the morass, take a step that you know is a firm step, and then you watch and see what happens. What happens depends on what we... This has been such a unique situation, not for government, but for society. What will happen? Well, tell me what you're going to do, and I'll tell you what will happen. Well, how can that be? Because you're in control of what happens.
In a quarter mile,
how you act will determine what happens to you. Literally, will I get infected? Well, it depends on what you do. Will we have a higher infection rate? Depends on what we do. You increase economic activity, we expect to see an increase in numbers. We don't want to see a spike. Well, will there be a spike? It depends on how people react, and it depends on their personal behavior. Are they wearing masks? Are they using hand sanitizer? It's getting warmer. There's going to be a natural increase in activity. People are going to come out of their homes. They've been there for a long time. The weather's warmer. They're going to come out. How do they act when they come out? And that is the big question mark. Are they reopening with all those question marks? I sit there and I have the conversations with experts. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? They say, you tell me how people react, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. But I don't know how people are going to react. Well, then I can't tell you what's going to happen. So, if people are smart, then, yes, you will see some increase in the numbers, but you won't see a spike. You've seen spikes in other countries that have opened. You've seen spikes in states that have opened. We have an intelligent, and I believe the most intelligent system, but it is still reliant on what we do. It is reliant behavior. So be smart and be diligent and don't underestimate this virus. Local governments will do their part. I've spoken to all the local government officials. They're going to be doing compliance. They're going to be doing compliance on businesses that are opening. They have to follow the protocols. They're going to be doing compliance on enforcement, wearing the masks, etc. But still, it's going to come down to what individuals do. The only other big question mark on where we go longer term is what the federal government does. We have a significant economic problem in the state. It's the collective of all the individual economic problems. And when you add up the collective, it's $61 billion to the state of New York. Well, we don't really care about the state budget. It has nothing to do with me. I know that's what you may say. not correct. The state budget is very relevant to you because what the state budget funds, we don't do space exploration in the state. We fund schools, we fund hospitals, and we fund local governments. That's the state budget. A lot of words, but it funds schools, it funds hospitals, and it funds local governments. Local governments fund police, fire, all the heroes that we talk about. Hospitals. I wonder where they got it from. They got it from the good book. Everybody says they read the good book. Mark 3:25. If a house is divided against itself, the house cannot stand. Read the good book and do what's right for the American people. And let's be together, tough, smart, united, disciplined, and loving. Questions, comments, queries?
And race Washington decision. Do you intend on expanding that to other sports? You mentioned baseball. Are you okay with the Yankees or the Mets having games without fans?
It's something where, look, what you want to do is increase economic activity as much as you can without spiking the infection rate, right? So if you have an economic activity that can take place but generates economic interest, also entertainment interest, right? A lot of people are sitting at home. Something's interesting on television to follow. That's great. Makes staying at home easier. And all our admonitions, stay home, stay home, stay home, easier if there's some entertainment. So those are, when you look at the risk reward, there's a lot of reward for minimal risk. We don't control baseball. I've spoken to baseball organizations. One state can't make that decision, John, but if it works economically, that'd be great. We do control the racetracks. We can open Watkins Glen, so that's in our control.
For Watkins Glen, are you opening it? Is this just for the NASCAR race in August? Is this all racing? What is exactly happening at Watkins Glen?
I don't know exactly. Do you guys know, Rob?
Opening it to allow for fanless activity there. So to the extent that NASCAR wants to race, which they would, right, as long as there's no fans there, they can bring their staff under with guidance and operate full without fans. And that's the same thing for the racetracks, the horse racetracks. The vast majority of those employees are already on site on those tracks, working with those horses and training them. So as the governor mentioned, the risk there is minimal because the activity is already occurring.
I mean, there are, for any of these sports, like for baseball in particular, there's a large number of maintenance staff, there's support staff. I mean, can you allow games in these empty stadiums and still account for density reduction and social distancing among those staff?
Well, that's what they're doing. They're coming up with a plan that says, look, first I have to maintain the stadium anyway. There are people there watching the stadium anyway. It's a big venue. If I'm only doing a game, I can bring back a limited number of staff. This is how they'll be protected. This will be the PPE they're wearing. There is no density because they're just securing the stadium. So those are the plans they're coming up with. I also want to mention one, just in case you raise it with me later. I have brought my vehicle to Watkins Glen. I've driven my car on Watkins Glen. I'm not an official participant in NASCAR. I have no vested interest in opening Watkins Glen. If they do open, and if I am invited to the ceremony, I may go and I may bring my car and I may drive it around the track, but there is no self-interest involved in the Watkins Glen decision. Just to be clear.
Albany County Executive Dan McCoy and Rego County Executive Steve McLaughlin have both said numerous times this week that it's better if the nursing home staff are not factored into the reopening metric because that is an isolated sort of problem. Do you agree or disagree? And is it possible to actually separate that and get the capital region open together?
Well, people have been restless. I'm restless. I think I'm more restless than anyone. So, and I'm sure we all think we're the most restless person. We're talking to them with the Department of Health. I understand the issue. It's not just Capital District region. To the extent we're saying to hospitals, you should keep nursing home patients and not discharge them to nursing homes, they're saying that's artificially increasing the hospitalization rate. I get the point, and again, it's not a capital district point, it's a point all across the board because we changed our policy all across the state. So we're having those conversations now. We don't have a decision, but we're having those conversations.
Also on that point, when we talked about regional reopening before, you had fear that people from certain regions would go to others. Amsterdam is maybe one of the regions that's open right now. It's pretty close to here. Is there a fear that people from a place like Capital Region Valley to shop now that they have that option?
Well, the only differential on shopping is when you open in phase one, you have a curbside pickup. You now have curbside pickup in the Capital District region, but only one employee. So there's not much of a difference on that phase one between regions. The other activities in phase one, almost by definition, are existing employees. If the manufacturing plant opens up, they have their employees, and the employees for that business are going to go. So there's not a lot of cross-region fertilization, if you will, on that.
You said yesterday that they plateaued with about 400 net every day, and you said that those were coming from home transmission. Is that new data from hospital surveys or
from last week?
That's from last week.
Remember we looked at can you excuse me 1 second, please? Remember we did the data last week where we want to know where those new cases coming from. I had a theory, turned out to be wrong, like many of my theories. I thought it might be predominantly essential workers who were still out there working, showing up, and that's where the new cases may have come from. That was exactly wrong. The infection rate among the essential workers is lower than the general population, and those new cases are coming predominantly from people who are not working and they are at home.
Being infected, I guess, is the question. What is the course of infection? Do we know?
At home. Well, we don't know. We know where they're
home. I mean, they must be contacting the virus in the world and then bringing it home?
Well, could obviously left the home to go shopping or go for a walk or whatever they did and brought it back home if a person was staying home, or the person went out of their home, not to work, but to socialize or do whatever they did. That person got infected and either went to the hospital, or that person got infected, went home, and infected the other people at home. Do we have anything other than that?
I would just add that we will learn a lot more about this when we continue, when we try the contact tracing, and we're going to get a lot of data from that.
Contact tracing, where are we at this point? How many people are out there? How many people are being contact traced? Obviously, it's an enormous undertaking, correct?
So this is just starting now. We are enrolling hundreds of people, obviously, to do this. We're working closely with the Zimmer Foundation and with the Vital Strategy. We'll be able to give you more data as we move this out.
Yeah, but we have just, excuse me 1 second. Ballpark, how many tracers do we have set up across the state?
400 now with the 5 regions that are open, so they met their metric of having those numbers. The training has begun. They've done the 4 to 6 hour training with the Johns Hopkins University program. The call center has been stood up, but yesterday was the first day we've opened, so have we gotten a call yet? I do not know. We can get that answer for you.
They're actually out doing their work.
They're ready to go. Yesterday was the first day we opened some of those regions, so we'll have to get that data as it comes in now. I don't have that right now.
Just considering the scope of this, I mean, we did a report a couple of days ago that basically said that would take a team of 5 contact tracers, 3 days to contact 50 people, exponential growth. Are you so confident this is going to work, or is this merely a way to kind of like combat future outbreaks?
Well, how many tracers we have, because if you look at the regions who opened, they had a number of tracers that they had to open. So those 5 regions that opened, they had to have a certain number of tracers proportionate to their population, and those are all in place. So if you just add up those 5 regions, tracers numbers on the dashboard, you'll find out. But the tracing is, as you say, a first time. Testing is a first time. Tracing is all of this is the first time. The tracing operation is tremendously large and challenging. That's why Mike Bloomberg was so important here in his offer to help with his philanthropy, with Johns Hopkins, with this group Vital Strategies, to come up with a training program, recruitment program, and then to coordinate it statewide, especially downstate, because there's such cross-pollinization, to stay with the analogy, downstate, right? You live in Westchester, but you work in New York, but you have a summer home on Long Island. So the regional coordination is also very important. But that is all coming online. A region doesn't open unless they have that in place. The data we took last week was more on the question of 400 new cases. Where are they coming from? And again, my premise was they're workers, and the data said they're not. Which is actually good news. Surprising, but good.
Outstanding COVID-related bills currently in the legislature. Is there any bill that you would like to see passed at the legislature end, or are lawmakers' jobs effectively done here in Albany?
Well, the lawmakers are harder than they've worked in a long time. I think all elected officials are working harder than they've worked in a long time, right? Because if you're in a district, you're getting constant calls of people who need all sorts of help. So their constituency demands are way up. Also, the executive orders that everything I do, we talk to the leaders about, and they're talking to their members about, right? So they may not be here physically, but they are all engaged, not just on the constituency work, they're also part of what I am doing. I'm not taking actions that I'm not talking to them about. They're raising issues with me. I think we have to look at this. I think we have to look at this. So they're very much engaged in everything that we're doing.
With the new COVID hospitalizations, they seem to have been leveled these past few days, and that seems to be going down. Do you think that more lockdown measures are going to be needed to get those numbers down even further, or can we expect those numbers to stay level going forward?
You can't do any more lockdown measures. You can't do any more lockdown measures than we've done.
Essential trips outside of the grocery stores, or only going to the grocery stores on certain days?
No, we're not talking about any additional lockdown. The numbers are down, so the question is reopening, right? You're on the other side of the tunnel. And how do you reopen? And reopening smartly, intelligently, with individual responsibility. So understanding you're going to see an increase in the numbers, but you don't want to see a spike.
You are listening to 1010 Wins. This is WINS, WNEWHD, Gray, New York.
And rate of transmission, etc. You can have, and we do have now, if you look at the numbers now, it's not a constant number. There's it's a little up, a little up, a little down. You can handle that. You don't want to handle any spike which gets up near your hospital capacity or anything like that.
Statistically, what does that look like? Is that a 20% increase, a 30% increase? Like, what is the metric?
Well, it depends on what your original number is, right? You have different numbers all across the state. Some regions you're in the single digits. Some regions you're in the double digits. So it's proportionate to that and the hospital capacity in that region. Everything is by that region. Did I say that correctly?
Have you addressed moving forward with the anti-malaria drugs, given the whistleblowers' complaints that suggesting some patients receiving a cocktail of the drug had cardiac arrest at a slightly elevated level? Is the state aware of any such concerns through its own analysis?
So we looked at the hydroxychloroquine. We found that patients there was no benefit or adverse harm. It was clearly known that there was an issue of the potential of abnormal heart rhythms when you gave that drug along with the azithromycin, which was the other drug. But there are other groups studying and looking at the use of this for individuals who are outpatient, and we'll wait and see what that data shows.
Moving forward, because there's, obviously there's...
We didn't move forward, right? We tested, the drug was tested in hospital trials for the FDA, which is how they test drugs. So drugs were tested in New York hospitals, and the test suggested not to go ahead with the drug. Yes?
Can you respond to a tweet from the Rego County executive yesterday stating New York City walk-ins were not lying? The folks of Vice Cuomo have to stop. The rest of the U.S. is increasing its fall. Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania have reported 5 weeks of decline in new cases. Arkansas, Colorado, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island reported 2 weeks of decline. Fast exclamation point. Just wanted to know what your response is.
Yeah, well, tell me, you should send a letter to the New York Times, because the chart I showed was from the New York Times. So either that fellow's right or the New York Times is right. Woe for me to pick between the two. Let's take one more. Did you have a question, Dan?
Yeah, Governor. On the Senate, the Senate obviously going to be looking at that bill. Have you spoken to Senator Schumer about the bill, and has he said that he can pass before you have to make those cuts to the state and Senate?
Yes, I've spoken to everyone about the bill to such an extent that I'm sure none of our federal representatives want to talk to me about it anymore. I've made it clear how important it is. I've made it clear what's going to happen to the budget if they don't pass that bill. In many ways, they are in control of the state budget this year, because we passed the budget, we have a shortfall. If Washington does not make up that shortfall, there will be cuts. The state legislature is not here. I can only respond to the shortfall if we don't receive the federal funding. And I believe it would be so ludicrous to have taken the actions they have taken, where they're funding big business, small business, airlines, they're worried about hotels, they're worried about restaurants, and I'm not debating those issues. But then not to help schools and police and firefighters and give people food who are starving to eat SNAP? I mean, how could you ever justify that? On a moral basis, ethical basis, legal basis, political basis, I don't care. How would you ever justify that?
If you see the money in June and you've already made cuts to the state budget, can you restore those cuts?
Yes. Okay, it's a nice day. I'm going to go out and get some. Be here tomorrow, Sunday, Wednesday.
And we've been listening to Governor Andrew Cuomo here on 1010 Wednesday. Announced 157 new deaths in the last day, 52 of them in nursing homes. He said that number is right about where we were at the beginning of the pandemic, but as he put it, we do not want to go back to the hell we've gone through, and when we talk about reopening, that's the discussion. The governor also talked about perhaps opening sports for fanless activities, specifically racing, horse racing, maybe even baseball for television audiences only. He did not give a time frame for that. He did say elective surgeries would be allowed to resume in Westchester and Suffolk counties. He also said it's critical that people wear masks and wear them correctly as the weather warms up. WINS News Time, 12:04. Well, it is a nice day, and people are heading out to the parks. Social distancing is, of course, a challenge, but will they wear masks like they're supposed to protect others now that the NYPD is dialing back enforcement on masks? School safety officers have been handing out masks in Central Park, where Fred is walking his dog near the meadow.
Nobody's actually totally safe because there's stuff that's out of our control, but I think being out in the sunshine is nice. Being outside is better than being inside. And people, for the most part, are pretty respectful of each other's boundaries. You can tell when somebody doesn't want anyone near them, and you stay away from them. Not so bad.
The police department has been criticized over the instances of harsh social distancing enforcement. And Mayor de Blasio said yesterday it will no longer be involved in breaking up small clusters of people or confronting citizens about failing to wear a mask or not wearing the mask properly. De Blasio says the police will keep dispersing large gatherings that are most likely to risk spreading the virus. And let's check that 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast. It is beautiful out today, mostly sunny, getting up to 78 degrees in Central Park. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, or partly cloudy, that is, and comfortable with a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, some sunshine in the morning, fading behind increasing clouds high only 66 degrees, and we do expect some showers later tomorrow night. Monday, cloudy and cool with a few showers, high 63, and Tuesday, the cooling trend continues with periods of rain, high only 58 on Tuesday. Right now it's 68. We have a fair sky, the relative humidity at 50%, the wind variable at 6 miles per hour, gusting to 17. Repeating the current temperature, 68 degrees, heading up to 78 in Midtown. Winds News Time, 12:06. Churches in the Newark Archdiocese are opening tomorrow for private prayer with permission from local pastors. That is the first step in a 3-phase reopening announced yesterday. Churches will be requiring that people wear masks, practice social distancing, and stay home if they don't feel well. The timing of the next 2 phases is still to be determined, but Phase 2 will bring back some weekday masses, and Phase 3 will allow Sunday masses. A close vote in the House, 208 to 199, passes a massive coronavirus stimulus bill that has little chance of passing the Senate. Democratic Representative Jerry Nadler says the $3 trillion bill will help state and local governments going broke due to coronavirus expenses.
State and local governments will see nearly $1 trillion in funding to fill the massive gaps in their budgets and prevent huge cuts to critical services.
Arkansas Representative Steve Womack says Democrats should first allow previous stimulus bills to take root.
They can't even wait until the trillions of dollars we've already spent is completely out the door before coming back for more.
Republicans in the Senate say they're not likely to take up this bill. Linda Kenyon, Washington. Winds News Time, 12:07.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
It's been good. It's been helpful for me with my memory. I had a really bad accident back in the 80s, and my short-term memory was compromised, and I really notice a huge difference if I don't take it. A lot of times I would try to remember a name, I'd be like, what in the world is that guy's name? And now, I don't struggle with it as much. It actually must stimulate the brain or something because it's really helping me with my memory. So I'm very happy about that. It really helps me a lot. So, thank you.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code NEWS. Winds News Time, 12:08. Arguments yesterday making the case to hold New York's Democratic presidential primary next month, despite state claims that it could threaten the safety of voters during a pandemic. A 3-judge panel of the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals heard 90 minutes of arguments yesterday. A judge last week ordered the primary to go forward, despite a decision by the Democratic members of the state's Board of Elections in April to cancel it. The judges did not immediately rule, but indicated they were inclined to let the presidential primary happen. Even without the presidential primary, elections will still be held June 23rd, including congressional and state races. Another federal auditor has been canned by President Trump. He was a carryover from the Obama administration and will be replaced by an associate of Vice President Mike Pence. So why now?
It is vital that I have the fullest confidence in the appointees serving as inspectors general. That is no longer the case. That was President Trump announcing the Friday night firing of another government watchdog, this time the State Department's Steve Winnick. He was not involved with the president's impeachment, but the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee claimed the move was because Winnick had opened an investigation of Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Since inspectors general report to Congress, the president notified Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, with whom the president has not spoken since impeachment. In a statement, Pelosi shot back, the president must cease his pattern of reprisal and retaliation against the public servants who are working to keep Americans safe. Bob Costantini, Washington.
Winds News Time, 12:09.
Okay, you know how it feels when you've saved enough for that long-awaited home edition? Now imagine an edition on that edition. Whoa. That's the feeling with Capital One, where a new savings account earns an interest rate 5 times the national average. That's right, 5 times. as represented by 5 times more singers. This is Banking Reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. Rate comparison based on FDIC national rates. Capital One NA member FDIC.
CVS Pharmacy delivers. And right now, to meet the needs of the current health situation, we're offering 1 to 2 day deliveries for free. Get prescriptions and other everyday essentials like vitamins, allergy relief, snacks, and more from your local CVS. We understand your concern, and this is just one of the ways we can help you to be prepared and stay well. Visit CVS.com or call your local CVS pharmacy to get started. Restrictions apply. Offer valid on orders with a prescription.
Winds News Time 12:10. Traffic and AccuWeather in a minute on 10:10 Winds.
During these challenging times, I'm Listening is helping to make sure you stay connected. Here to help end the stigma of talking about mental health. Here's Dr. Laura Rose on how to reduce fear and anxiety.
It's a fight or flight response. So we're getting a lot of signals from the outside world right now that we should be in a fight or flight state of being. It's about, for me, being more careful than fearful. We can be full of care, but not full of fear. Don't be afraid to give yourself what you need to be happy and healthy. It's hard because people are so used to social media in general, and I find that social media creates a lot of fear in just a regular everyday life of keeping up with the Joneses. I say get your little bit of news and then go on with your day.
Now more than ever, let's stay connected and end the stigma of talking about mental health. Find out more at imlistening.org.
Winds News Time 12:11. Traffic and transit on the one Pierceville Towers.
In New Jersey, still dealing with this down utility over in Ramsey on 17 southbound side by Lake Street. Right lane's going to be blocked off. Anticipate delays. Garden State Parkway, keep in mind, we still have road work. About a 5-mile delay now. We're heading in towards Route 280 on the southbound track, a repaving project that's actually going to last throughout the weekend. Getting across the Hudson River, here's what you need to know about your bridges and tunnels. Outbound side of the GW Bridge, a little bit busy for you. Over at the Lincoln and Holland tunnels, we seem to be in pretty good shape. Deegan, very slow northbound side. Yankee Stadium up to the Cross Bronx due to road work. And now on the eastbound side of the Cross Bronx Expressway heading into Westchester Avenue, getting reports of an accident. Traffic very heavy through that area. Bruckner-Deegan combination might be a better option through that stretch of real estate. I'm Bill Powers on 1010 Winds.
Michelle Calisi here at Security Dodge in Amityville. Go onto our website, pick out your new vehicle, submit your trade information, get pre-approved. We have 0% financing for 72 months and no payments for 120 days.
Log on to securitydodge.com for complete program details.
Winds News Time 12:12. Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Pretty nice day. Here's meteorologist John Furick.
Yeah, definitely nice out there for today. Good deal of sunshine. Temperatures into the upper 70s. A pretty comfortable day for the middle of May, and we'll have a nice night tonight as well. Partly cloudy down to 54. Cooler day for tomorrow. Some sun to start. The clouds are picking up. We'll top out at 66, and then maybe a shower or two around on Monday. A lot of the time, though, it's going to be dry, but it's on the cool side. On the high Monday, 63, and even cooler on Tuesday. It looks like we could see some rain. On the high 58, and Wednesday, still maybe some showers around. We're up into the low 60s. Right now in Central Park, 71, partly sunny. We're up to 78 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Furick on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Winds News Time 12:13. The pilot who was flying Kobe Bryant when he crashed had no drugs or alcohol in his system. Correspondent Pat Piper has coroner's autopsy report on the crash victims released yesterday.
Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter, and others on board died quickly. These injuries are rapidly, if not instantly, fatal, wrote Senior Deputy Coroner Juan Carrillo. Bryant's remains were identified only by fingerprints. The January 26th accident occurred in thick fog when the Sikorsky S-76 crashed in a hillside, causing a crater with scattered wreckage the size of a football field.
The pilots had climbed sharply and almost broke through the clouds when the craft took an abrupt left turn and plunged into that hillside, descending at a rate of more than 4,000 feet per minute. Winds News Time 12:14.
At Bronx Care, the ER team is here for the community. They're highly experienced ER doctors, nurses, and staff under the direction of Dr. John Coffey are experts in treating adult and pediatric conditions, from heart attacks, strokes, and serious injuries to hypertension, asthma, and diabetes, as well as mental health and other medical problems. Bronx Care's
Also have available to them the most advanced diagnostic state-of-the-art technology. Bronx Cares ER, successfully responding to all emergencies and always there for the community 24/7.
With over 30 years experience, the law firm of Keith D. Silverstein & Associates has been winning multi-million-dollar settlements for their clients. Whether it be a serious injury from construction, auto, or slip and fall, you may be entitled to compensation. All initial consultations at Keith D. Silverstein & Associates are free and confidential. Call them at 212-385-1444 or send them an email at ksilverstein@kdslawfirm.com. Remember the name, Keith D. Silverstein & Associates, the injury attorneys.
Wins News Time, 12:15. Some big cuts are coming to Canada's largest airline starting June 7th.
Air Canada plans to cut its workforce by at least half as the COVID-19 pandemic wreaks havoc on the airline industry. The air carrier says it will lay off about 50 to 60% of its employees. Air Canada says it estimates about 20,000 of the company's 38,000 employees will be affected. The airline said it is currently flying at about 5% of the capacity it flew last year and was burning $22 million a day. I'm Barbara Kusak.
Another step toward a return to normal in Italy.
The Italian government is easing travel restrictions imposed due to the coronavirus pandemic, allowing people to move more freely inside the region where they live as of Monday and between nations starting June 3. Italy imposed nationwide lockdown rules in early March, after it became the first country outside Asia with a major outbreak of coronavirus. But the government has gradually reopened the country as the rates of infections and deaths have fallen. Social distancing rules are being implemented in the sectors of the economy that have reopened. Now the government has given the green light to some areas of international travel. As of June 3, there'll be no quarantine rules specific on where Italians themselves can travel to. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
England is easing some lockdown rules, but officials there are warning people not to visit popular tourist spots this first weekend. Of special concern are coastal and rural areas that may be a big draw for day trippers eager to get out of London. People are being encouraged to spend more time outdoors, but with social distancing in mind. Lockdown rules for the rest of Britain, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland have not been eased yet. Wins News Time, 12:17.
Have a car and need cash now? 1 Hour Cash for Cars will give you a cash offer for any car in any condition as long as you have a valid title. Call 1-800-331-3456. Was your car damaged in a car accident? No problem. Call 1-800-331-3456 and get cash now. Is your car dead and won't start? No problem. Call 1-800-331-3456 and get cash now. Trying to sell your car and haven't had it? Your car is a junker or just a few years old. As long as you have a valid title, 1 Hour Cash for Cars will tow your car in as little as 1 hour. They'll pay you on the spot and take care of all the paperwork. Turn that old car into cash in as little as 1 hour. Online at 1hourcashforcars.com. That's the number 1, Hour Cash, the number 4, cars.com. 1 Hour Cash for Cars is the number 1 buyer in the country. Call 1-800-331-3456.
It's 68 degrees right now, going up to 78 in Midtown.
Have a productive summer. Earn college credits with the Delphi University Summer Sessions. Small online classes with top faculty, personalized attention, and special discounts. Choose from 200 online courses starting May 29th and July 6th at delphi.edu/summer class.
Wins News Time, 12:18. Credit card skimmers have been found in 3 North Jersey Stop and Shops. The store chain says it found and removed is looking at surveillance video to figure out how they got there. A total of 5 illegal skimming devices were attached to credit card terminals at stores in Berkeley Heights, Bloomfield, and Clifton, as well as another location in Connecticut and one in Massachusetts. They were there as far back as mid-February and removed in mid-April. The company is inviting customers with questions to call their main customer service center and check their website. Wins News Time, 12:19.
At a time when we still need to stay safe and comfortable at home, our heartfelt thanks goes out to everyone doing their part. Charles P. Rogers Bed Company has been making beds since 1855. Over our long history, we've seen good times and bad. Today, we see our communities working together, and Charles P. Rogers is here to help. Our bed makers, warehouse, and support teams are ready to provide reliable service and safe, touch-free delivery. You can view our beds and mattresses sleep is more important than ever. Sleep better every night on a Charles P. Rogers bed. Visit us online at charlesprogers.com or call 800-272-7726. That's charlesprogers.com or speak with us at 800-272-7726. Sleep well.
What would you do with $10,000 to help your small business get back on its feet? 1010 Wins and B&B Bank, the bank for local business, want to give you $10,000 to do just that. The deadline to submit is tomorrow, so please go to 1010wins.com/challenge for all the details. That's 1010wins.com/challenge.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. We're up to 71 degrees at 12:20. I'm Sonia Rincon, and here's what's happening. What does social distancing look like Saturday? The NYPD is dialing back enforcement of masks and gathering in small groups. Carol Dioria is in Central Park with more. The city is dealing with a major blood shortage as a result of the pandemic. A fire in Harlem may have been a deliberate attempt to cover up another crime. Disney's American theme parks are watching what Shanghai Disneyland is doing for a reopening strategy. The 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast mostly sunny this afternoon, getting up to 78. Winds News Time, 12:21. Traffic and transit on the ones. Here's Bill Powers.
First stop will be the Cross Bronx Expressway. If you're going to be traveling eastbound side, do look out. We've got a crash right around White Plains Road. Delays go back to at least 3rd Avenue, and that is only going to build. So obviously you might want to try the Deegan-Bruckner combination. Now, on the Deegan northbound side, you do have some road work as you travel past Yankee Stadium right on up into the Cross Bronx Expressway. Also, if you're going to be traveling southbound over on the Bruckner, some road work as you head in towards the Deegan. Just a couple of We've got some heavy traffic over on the Hutch due to road work. This is going to be on the southbound trip as you head in towards Westchester Avenue, so keep that in mind also. Now, here's what you need to know about your bridges and tunnels. GW Bridge, about 5 to 10 minutes. Same deal with the Lincoln and Holland tunnels. Looks like we have some road work set up once again over on the Whitestone Bridge as you try to head into Queens, so the Throgs Neck Bridge will be the way to go. Although you see some company over on the Cross Island Parkway trying to get onto the Bronxbound Throgs Neck Bridge. Have a tree problem? Call 1-718-CUT-TREE for your tree removal, pruning, and stump grinding needs. Dragonetti Brothers Tree Care Services, all 5 boroughs in Nassau County. They're fully insured and they offer free estimates. Dragonetti Brothers, the most reliable name in tree care. Call 1-718-CUT-TREE. I'm Bill Powers on 1010 Winds.
The weather today is putting New Yorkers to the test. Can we keep head to the parks where there's even less NYPD enforcement than there has been?
Well, it doesn't get better than this. A warm spring day with lots of sunshine in Central Park. The Sheep Meadow opened at 11 a.m. and folks streamed in with their blankets and chairs. The police department recruited school safety agents to hand out masks to anyone who needed them, and it was clear no one was being arrested for not wearing one. Rita was strolling in the park, and she said she felt safe. It's a beautiful park, and I feel everybody's pretty much following the rules. Everyone seemed to agree they couldn't stand being inside any longer, and that wearing a mask outside was a much better idea. Carol Dioria, 1010 Winds in Central Park.
New York City is running out of blood. The blood bank that supplies all of the city's public hospitals and some private ones only has about a 2-day supply. The unprecedented shortage is mainly because of the lack of blood drives at the usual place centers, and are urged to call the New York Blood Center for the Red Cross. Winds News Time 12:23. President Trump is shifting his focus from states reopening to fast-tracking a vaccine, calling the initiative the country's biggest undertaking since the Manhattan Project during this press conference on Friday. Correspondent Rachel Scott has more from Washington.
The president announced the plan by his administration to accelerate development.
It's called Operation Warp Speed. That means big and it means fast. When I say quickly, we're looking to get it by the end of the year if we can.
But members of his own coronavirus task force team have tempered expectations. The nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, told lawmakers it could take longer.
Winds News Time 12:24. Can dogs tell if someone is COVID positive? British researchers are launching a trial to see whether dogs can be trained to use their noses to detect whether humans have the virus before
Other dogs can potentially be used as a non-invasive early warning measure to identify the coronavirus. Researchers at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and Durham University are collaborating with the charity Medical Detection Dogs. The trial is getting $600,000 of British government funding. 6 dogs have started basic training for the trial. I'm Barbara Kusak.
Twins News Time, 12:25.
Home is where the heart is. Now more than ever, we're living the true meaning of this. Protect your home investment with quality painting from your local CertaPro painters. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated by men and women who live in our community. You can trust CertaPro painters to get the job done right and safely. They're open and taking precautions recommended by public health officials. Get a remote estimate from them today. It's safe, quick, and easy. Whatever painting project you have in mind, you can count on CertaPro painters to make it worry-free. Start your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
If you had COVID-19 got better, you could help others by donating your blood. Mayo Clinic is leading a national emergency access program using donated blood plasma to help patients in the hospital with COVID-19. We ask those who have recovered from COVID-19 to donate plasma in the months following recovery when antibodies are strong to help us help others. Visit uscovidplasma.org and join the fight. Thousands are waiting at uscovidplasma.org.
Wins News Time, 12:26. Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Joan Donegan.
One of the many changes we could see when we get to the other side of the coronavirus is the decision to kiss the gym goodbye.
In fact, we expect a significant decline in gym attendance.
Alex partner Simon Negri says it's already happening.
Our research shows 4 out of 10 gym goers will continue working out in their homes.
And gyms are worried because sales of high-tech internet-connected equipment and apps are up. Now offers 50,000 or so on-demand workouts a week. Negri says that's really an area of growth.
The consumers are actually valuing the on-demand fitness classes, less so the live classes.
He says places like Planet Fitness may have to worry less because they're not expensive, but the high-end gyms such as Equinox will have to make changes.
Even reducing the price.
The math, he says, is simple.
As these consumers purchase more in-home fitness equipment, the likelihood of going back to the gym becomes even less.
Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Joan Donegan for 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time, 12:27.
Hey, so are you the type of guy that wants to look put together, but doesn't want to spend hours at the mall finding new clothes? So you can look great at the office, on the road, or even just on the weekend with friends and family? I hear you. This is why there's Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple. Sign up in just a few minutes. Brands that work for you, and even let them know what types of styles you prefer. Stitch Fix is convenient. You get great clothes delivered right to you, so you can try new styles on in the comfort of your own home, and make a decision without any pressure. And Stitch Fix is on your terms, and priced to match your budget. There's no subscription required ever. Keep what you want, and send back anything you don't. So, isn't it time you got it all together? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for men, women, and kids. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
I'm Dr. Oksidi Sparbo, the city's doctor. You're hearing about COVID-19 every day and why it's important to stay home as much as possible to protect yourself and others from its spread. But if you're not feeling well, I want you to get the care you need. If you have a fever, cough, or a sore throat, you may have COVID-19. If your symptoms are not very severe, stay home, take your temperature at least once a day, and watch for signs of getting worse. If you have chest pain or trouble breathing, call 911 or go to an emergency room right away. Please, don't wait. The city provides medical care regardless of immigration status or ability to pay. If you need help finding a doctor, call 311. Stay healthy, NYC.
During the pandemic, she tested the city's 311 response system to free meals.
Thank you for calling 311.
She sounded the alarm to the growing rat population, and she brought the homeless encampments to the city's attention. When it impacts you, Juliet Papa has your back.
Well, Juliet, you have distinguished yourself over these weeks in finding things that need to be fixed, and we're going to go fix it.
One more reason to stay connected 24/7 to New York's only all
71 degrees. We're getting up to 78 this afternoon in Midtown with a mostly sunny sky. And tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 54 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Sonia Rincon. Wind news time at the Tone, 12:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Mario Bosquez. In a state coronavirus update today, Governor Cuomo provided a window of sorts into the step-by-step reopening procedures underway. In addition, he said 157 more coronavirus deaths have been reported in the state, with 5 regions set to reopen upstate. Horse racing tracks, by the way, across the state will be allowed to open as of June 1st, but without fans. And now, an update on the latest on the coronavirus pandemic from ABC.
The president announcing he's putting a former drug company executive in charge of the effort to develop.
That means big and it means fast.
Previous vaccines have taken years to develop, but the president has gone back and forth on whether a COVID vaccine could get done before the end of this year.
We'd love to see if we could do it prior to the end of the year.
This all comes 24 hours after the doctor who until recently had been leading the charge to develop a vaccine told Congress a vaccine would likely take longer.
Chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl. Could baseball be back today? Governor Cuomo in New York saying that state's exploring different ways to reopen.
Well, what economic activity is willing to reopen without a crowd, right? They're talking about this in terms of sports. You can have baseball without a crowd, but it can still be televised.
There would be no fans in the stands, only televised events for now. Horse racing is also under consideration. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And keep it locked here on 1010 Wins and 1010wins.com for the latest. Wins News Time 12:31. Time for transit time to check in with Russ Meyer.
The Cross Bronx Expressway is dealing with an eastbound crash over by 3rd Avenue, and that is taking out the left lane, backing up traffic to the Deegan, also on the Hutch. It is a standstill heading southbound from Pelham Parkway to Westchester Avenue with road work. And Central Park West also shut down between 107th and 110th Streets, entirely blocked off because of a collapsed manhole. About a 5-mile backup in New Jersey on the Parkway southbound side, coming to exit 145 for Route 280. 2 right lanes are closed for construction, which is set to be out there all weekend. Along with that, the off-ramp for Route 280 at exit 145 is closed, with traffic being detoured. Here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Nothing major going on at the Thrives Neck, Whitestone, and RFK bridges. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. Everything clear on the LIE, Northern State and Southern State. Alternate side of the street parking lot.